Hello, welcome back. We are 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio, and you are here because you know why. It's the NFL Draft Recap for the New Orleans Saints with our expert host. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long. Let me introduce you to a man who comes every single Monday morning without fail, year over year. I feel like we've been consistent for so long. Our audience must love it. It is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? The draft is over. All the hype is finally dying down some, and now we're getting ready for the season to gear up in a little bit. We're seeing all the videos on Twitter of all these guys who are getting drafted. Calling their families and going to the facility for the first time. Really fun time still, right? But we're talking about the Saints today, the vision rival for our guys with the Falcons, of course. But we're gonna give them some love. Don't worry. And I think they did very good this draft. Can't wait to get more into it, my friend.
Absolutely. And thank you, everyone watching and listening right now. We are here because of you. We bring you incredible on the field information about football every single week, and you stay with us every single week. So now we have over 1,000 episodes of our video podcast, nearly 900 episodes of our audio podcast, an incredible team, and way more to come starting this summer and into the fall when the season starts back. So you are not going to want to miss a moment. Mr. Logan Landers, the New Orleans Saints, their NFL draft class. How did they do? How happy are we? And what do we have to expect out of this next season?
Well, let's get into it, man. The Saints have had a very unique offseason, had to shed some cap because I mean they were paying guys a lot of money that they just didn't have this year. So they lost some guys, and here they are in the draft, hoping to make up for it, hoping to regain some popularity, get their team right for this upcoming 2022 season. In the South, in the NFC South, it's going to be a tough division now with the Falcons, of course, gearing up with Tom Brady coming back to the Bucks, and the Panthers right there doing their thing as well, man. The Saints, let's see how they did. Their first overall pick, choice number 11 from the Ohio State. They went with wide receiver Chris Olave. So there was rumors they could go with a quarterback. I wasn't really feeling that just because they just re-signed Jameis Winston to a pretty good deal, pretty team-friendly deal. So I didn't have the biggest suspicion they were going to go with a quarter, especially first round. So they went with a weapon for him, someone to help out, and I like it. I think it's a good pick with Michael Thomas missing some time with injuries in the last couple of seasons. I feel like you had to go with a good receiver here to really help your team out. And Olave, a lot of people said he was going to go in the first round. Sure enough, he did, just outside the top 10. They moved up to get him. They traded up to get him, but it was nice that they got one of the premier wide receivers in this draft, and I feel that he is going to frustrate defensive backs for many years to come in the NFL. So I like the pick here. Keeping it in the first round, just a few more selections later, at pick 19, they went with a left tackle. They lost Teron Armstead, so they needed someone to replace him. They went with Trevor Penning, the young man from Northern Iowa. So shout out to him, right? I feel that he's someone that I talked about a few times on the show, and someone who has a very aggressive streak, someone who is going to keep fighting for his team. He's not going to give up a whole lot of sacks. He's going to fight every single down. So I like his demeanor. It's just that there's always going to be that stigma of he came from Northern Iowa. He's like he wasn't at an SEC school or a powerhouse or whatnot. But I think that give him some time, right? We half the time we see these offensive linemen, offensive tackles struggle in their first year just because it's all new to them. It's a lot quicker than in college. It's a lot stronger. But then we see usually year 2 is when they start to get their feet wet. They start to get some wings underneath them, and they really start to shine. And I could see that being the case with Penning here. I like the pick, though, because like I said, they need someone to replace Armstead. So they got the young man from Northern Iowa. Congrats to him and his family. A top 20 pick. Then we go into round 2, pick number 49. They went, Jeremiah, with a team near and dear to your heart. The University of Tennessee, go Vols, cornerback Alontae Taylor. Very good pick here. We've talked about Mr. Taylor a few times here on the show as well. and really good player, really stand out at Tennessee. And a lot of people are bashing this pick, but I think that he's got a lot to prove. Someone who is a solid cornerback, and you got to get those right at the NFL, man. You can't slip up at corner. You got to have a lockdown one. I think Taylor has all the potential to be a very good cornerback in the NFL. We were talking before. We said that this is the Falcons' rival, and hey, shout out to Taylor. He's going to be locking down Kyle Pitts for years to come. Maybe they're going to have some good battles. So we'll see how it unfolds. But once again, we'll see how he can do. Then we move on to round 5. Right, they get a couple more. We went a few rounds without them doing anything, and then we get their second to last selection here with DeMarco Jackson, the linebacker from Appalachian State. Another small school they went here, but the thing I like about this is Jackson is a very experienced player, played a lot, and also can do some work on special teams as well. Played over 600 snaps at special teams for Appalachian State, but someone who, not the best pass coverage guy in the world, but someone who's just a hard hitter, a good run stopper at his position at linebacker. So someone who is just, you can plug and play in a lot of places, and I think he'll do good for a while. We'll see him on the field a lot on Sundays. And then finally, their last selection here, they went with a young man out of, let me get it here, out of the Air Force, Jordan Jackson, defensive tackle, round 6, pick 194. Like I said, final pick in the draft. I think he's going to be a kind of like I said, a project here. Usually the last pick in your draft is someone who you're not expecting to get on the field day one and really get things going. But I feel like give him a little bit of time, of course, have him sit behind some of the veterans on the team and just let him learn the game. I feel that, Jackson has great potential. He's a little bit older with this draft, of course. Like I said, some guys with COVID, they went back for an extra season. That's what Jackson did. But I like this pick. Like I said, I think that it's a good selection. They went very much defense heavy in this draft because the Saints weren't the best defensively in the last couple of years, so they're trying to get back to those roots of just having some lockdown defense. So I like the picks here, but if I had to grade overall for the Saints, like I said, I like the Olave pick. The Penning pick, it's pretty good. I like Taylor, but I will give them a little bit of a harsh grade here, Jeremiah. I'll give them a C+. I feel like they could have went with a more offense heavy in the later, maybe that last pick in the 6th round. But overall, I feel like the Saints did a pretty decent job overall, but they still got a few holes to fill before I think they can get back to the top in the NFC South. But overall, I feel like it's a pretty solid step forward in the 2022 draft. We'll see how all these young men can produce each and every single week.
Absolutely. Yeah, and seeing how amazing, I feel like they did a great job on these picks. Right. They really, really needed some great people, and they were going in on it. So happy to see someone amazing from the University of Tennessee, not my alma mater, but definitely where I went to high school. I definitely went to college in Knoxville for a couple of years. Yeah, I definitely love what they're doing here, and we are all on the edge of our seats waiting to see if this is the class that they need to put together to really come out strong this year. And all of our listeners and watchers, we want to hear from you. What do you think? Did the New Orleans Saints get everyone they need? What do you think is the outcome of this draft for them? And does the team have all the tools they need to go forward at this point? Let us know in the comments. And if you're listening to our podcast, feel free to jump over on Apple Podcasts and give us a review. Feel free to jump onto Spotify, give us a follow, and give us a 5-star rating. And anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, we would love to hear from you. Drop a comment, leave us a review. Tell us that you're here. You don't even have to make it complicated. You can just pull it up on like Apple, for example. Hit the button to say leave a review and just say, hey, I'm listening to the show, friends. Send it. I love it. We are so thankful for every bit of feedback we get, even if you're just saying hi. It helps us so much to know you're out there. And with nearly 900 episodes, we will hit 900 episodes of our podcast this week. and over 1,000 episodes of our video-based broadcast. We are going to be here for you year after year, day after day, giving you the best on-field coverage of football, and you know this. So thank you so much to Mr. Logan Landers, our expert host, for covering the New Orleans Saints and their NFL draft team for 2022. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll be right back with another live episode. Stay tuned.